Very good morning. Welcome to Smart Men's Business. I'm Anji Barije. It's the 22nd, that's of February 2023, yet another business day. And of course, as you know that it's always very interesting to start the day when you're really so lively in a way in terms of how you think and, of course, making sure that everything really transpires like the way it ought to transpire. But of course, it's also very important to understand that there is another way you can actually earn money. That is through trading stocks. And Zabo just made that much more easy for you as you just there star 292 hash, and you'll be available with quite lots of opportunities, options, and you could purchase government bonds and securities, on Altec Securities, and then of course you will be able to earn a side income for yourself. The markets open at 8:15 a.m. and they close it exactly. That is 3:15 p.m. That is Monday to Friday with little as 15,000. You're in position to actually earn some money, invest something. And the most interesting aspect here is that if you're not interested any longer to trade, what you can do is that you can sell your shares out there and you get your money back instantly there and then on your mobile phone. No more hassle, no more paperwork. Zabo, my money, my future. Do something new yourself. Now, of course, getting back to driving the business, and of course, quite lots of updates happening, lots of events happening within the country, within the world, within the East African bloc, that every event is interrelated. They relate in the way they correlate with each other. And now, firstly, as we get into the update, our very first update, let's review something from the East African Revenue Authorities, some sort of a partnership in there, trying to see how best they can minimize revenues within the different countries. Let's review this. I'll be right back with quite more details.
As you know, domestic revenue mobilization and regional cooperation hold the key to economic prosperity, and therefore this journey of collaboration among the revenue administrations in our region cannot be underestimated. There is great learning and sharing of potential, coupled with the reduction in the turnaround of ideas owing to the vast experiences that we all have. I therefore urge all of us to promote this partnership and collaboration under your forum and actively work towards strengthening its influence on tax policy and tax administration issues in the region. We all acknowledge the fact that tax systems within our region are mainly based on self-assessment. The effectiveness and efficiency of this system depends on the ability and willingness of taxpayers to understand and comply with the legal obligations, as well as the ability of the administrators of these tax systems to interpret and enforce the laws. It is therefore incumbent upon our revenue administrations to develop innovative technologies, especially those approaches which can sustainably facilitate taxpayer compliance in a user-friendly, accessible, and a simple manner. Our revenue administrations must of necessity engage in comprehensive research and studies to inform policy formulation. Quality research provides empirical evidence to guide reforms covering the determination of the most effective tax rates, devising simple tax regimes that enhance compliance and the expected size and responses to adjustments in the tax structure. It's therefore an area that I call upon our regional administrations to fully embrace. At a national and regional level, we do observe that modernization of taxation processes in the recent past has been accompanied by increase in total revenue. These innovative reforms have contributed to consistent growth in revenue collections over the past decade. However, despite increasingly bringing the region's tax systems in line with international standards, our region, as we all know, is yet to realize the out of sub-Saharan African average of 18% tax to GDP ratio as per our peers elsewhere. Therefore, in order to leverage digital solutions in response to COVID-19 and advance the region's digital transformation, there is need to catalyze regional and global integration of the digital economy. Furthermore, one of the limitations in our region is the diversity in the tax procedures and laws across our different countries. This diversity not only creates complexity, but also creates avenues through which tax-paying community can exploit one jurisdiction against the other.
Well, that's an insight just right there with the East African Revenue Authorities. That was Ramadan Gobi. That is the PSST to the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. And some of the challenges, some of the aspects that were discussed, which was like the main headline, was the aspect of promoting the partnership within the forum, that is within the East African Revenue Authorities, and then also develop initiative technologies that facilitate taxpayers to ensure that there is efficient ways and forms of collecting taxes, and one of the ways is through the digitalization in a way of sort. Now there is also there was also they were urged to increase more research to make good policies. The different revenue authorities to ensure that when they do research, they implement policies that are very friendly to the taxpayers within those countries. Now, also amongst other issues that were talked about includes the need to catalyze that is regional and global integration, of course, of the digital economy. So that is something very interesting. And of course, according to what I'm observing here when I'm reading this, it brings you back to a way that whatever is being done in here, the policies that are being implemented in here, there is and a way they are correlating, trying to ensure that the East African bloc is on a very highly competitive level as compared to the international, at least trying to rhyme at the same time. But of course, it starts with the different individual countries, the revenue authorities in those countries taking the responsibility, taking the initiatives to ensure that this is a success. Well, that has been our first update this morning, and it's exactly 7 a.m. And let me get into the press review. We'll see what's making headlines in the print media, business, and so many other topics of great concern. It could be social topics, which of course influence business in a way. Business is always a two-sided as factors that influence its operations. Okay, now firstly, as we get into the press review, we have the New Vision and the Daily Monitor. But as always, let's start with the New Vision. Rather, let us see what is making headlines in here as we get prepared for the business day. What does the day have for us? Probably some of this information, when you get it, it's going to be very appropriate. Your day out through that. So page says 7 reject cuts. Of course. Getting to review this as we keep on going. Now, before we get there, we start. There is also this report here about the Uganda authority to attract multi-billion investments that is in agribusiness. Now, the Uganda Investment Authority is set that is to attract multi-billion investments that is in agriculture, and of course, the aspect of value addition, trying to promote the agriculture value chain. It's the whole essence of this. So that is something you can really check out for any person that is very interested to really find out what's happening in agri-business and investments. Uganda Investment Authority set to attract multi-billion, of course, investments in there. More of that story you can review it there in the new vision. Now, still reviewing this, we see that Museveni rejects, President Museveni rejects markets, builds smuggled clauses. So that is something that you can also really get to review that. Of course, it's what we saw on the page as Museveni rejects the new law that is on markets. So you'll be finding out more about this, what is happening in here. That will make sure that you get to know what's happening in there. Okay, so, looking at the new vision, we see the Prime Minister, that is Nabanja, asks Chitutu to explain Karamoja Iron Sheet saga. Yes, something of course which has been of a great talk, of great concern all around. Of course, yesterday we saw that the Prime Minister is collaborating with detectives to ensure that such a matter is being sorted, to see what is the way forward to ensure that everything moves as planned and as appropriated. Okay, still looking in here, quite lots of stories in here, and of course we see an article here of why African Water Association re-elected National Water and Sewage Corporation boss, that is Mugisha. Yes, that is also something to really check out, seeing what's happening in that particular organization, the National Water and Sewage Corporation. Maybe just a brief, as we are still continuing here. We see that the National Water and Sewage Corporation Managing Director, that is Dr. Engineer Silva Mugisha, yes, was on Sunday re-elected as president of the African Water Association after completing his maiden 2-year term, and that is from 2020 to 2023. Now, Dr. Mugisha will now steer. Okay, now this is more of that. He was elected president, re-elected. Now you get to see that, of course, promotion after promotion, and that is something very, very instrumental for his career. Now, still looking at the members of parliament here, defer approval of 2 trillion Ugandan shilling supplementary. They defer that. So what does that really mean regarding that? So you can still check that out in the new vision. More of that report. Now, still looking at government here. Government to cancel non-performing mining licenses. Yes, as the Energy and Mineral Development Minister Ruth Nankabira was warned that non-performing mining licenses will be cancelled. Well, more of that still there to keep up on that report, getting to see what is really happening in there. Now, still looking at energy, we see here that the ECO, as Tanzania okays start of pipeline construction. Now, the launch of the construction of the crude oil pipeline is drawing closer, and of course, following the approval and issuance of the construction license by the Tanzanian government. So, yes, the mining is in there. Maybe just a brief here. Tanzania gave its approval, that is yesterday, for the construction of the $4 billion crude oil pipeline, of course, recuperating what Uganda did last month. Well, more of that. Tanzania okays start of the pipeline construction. So the government of Tanzania has, of course, stamped into it. That means it's going to be really executed without any sabotage. Let me see. Now, still in agriculture here, we see maggot farming improves agriculture. Well, of course, farming is quite very wide. So we see maggot farming here, and of course, saying that it improves agriculture. How does it do that? You will check that out. Of course, more of that. Okay. Now, still further, we see that 14 public servants fined for failing to declare wealth. And of course, 14 government officials, including 5 Uganda Revenue Authority staff, have been convicted and fined over failure to declare their wealth. Probably those are the possible allegations, corruption allegations. Why can't you declare your wealth in there? Why are you afraid? Probably your wealth doesn't correspond with what you earn. So probably that can also be another factor. Okay. Now, still in the comment section, here in the new vision, as we head to the comment section, I'll still see something regarding Portmore Energy, of course, behind blood drive. Of course, that is from Uganda Uganda Blood Transfusion Services. Of course, reported as something regarding that, encouraging Ugandans to put more energy behind the blood drive. And now we still see why the world, still in the comment section, why the world's avocado demand is high. Yeah, so that is something you really need to know and find out before you really get to venture into a business. You need to really verify that regarding that. So we need to, if you want to understand that and more of that, you will find it in here. Okay. Of course, now we see, we're still reviewing the comment section, seeing the aspect of boosting socio-economic development, if that is through innovation in energy financing. Well, what does that report say? Of course, more of that will be included in there. And now still we see in the comment section, the Russia and Ukraine war, hail President Yoweri Museveni and colleagues on peace initiative. Well, of course, here we see that on several occasions last year, President Yoweri Museveni called for peaceful resolution to the war between Russia and Ukraine. He's been hailed for that. Of course, if you're really interested, anxious to find out what that is about, of course, you will be finding it in there. Now, still in the comment and later section, we see the enhancing mechanized agriculture and boost of current economic performance. Yeah, that can be finding out how can we boost the current economic performance, and of course trying to look at what's happening. Okay, let's get straight. Let's connect with Joram, of course, getting to give us the traffic updates just right there.
Tuesday in the morning and the kind of traffic that is actually ongoing. You're watching Smart Means Business and we are in for the traffic updates this morning. My name is Joram Paul Sonko Mwasuze Mutia. Now where I'm apparently standing today, I do have access to 3 routes and 3 roads. One is the Wampeo Avenue, that is on my right. Behind me, next to a full clock, that is a clock tower of Airtel network. And behind it is Ginger Road. Now on my left, as well as my left-hand side, clearly gives me a route to my to the old Port Bell Road. So that means I have 3 particular roads that I have access to in the morning, and I can concurrently tell you and observantly tell you that I can easily give you a more preferred route to use for the morning. Now, for the people who are actually using the old Port Bell Road, moving out of Kampala, you get to realize that route is actually very free and safer, or it is quite open for the moment. So that means everybody who is actually using that route to get out of Kampala, heading to Luzira, people who are actually heading to Chitintale, Bugolobi, that can be a safer and more convenient route for you to use this morning. Same applies to those who are actually coming in from Bugolobi and Luzira, coming in from Chitintale, coming in from Tungo, and use the old Port Bell Road coming to the city. The place does look to be free as of now. Now, besides that, for the people who are actually heading in Kampala or heading from, who are actually coming to the city using the Ginger Road for now, because that looks like the only available option for the morning, you get to realize that it's the only busiest for now, because many people are actually hitting their different workplaces, hitting Kampala to get to their different workplaces and workspaces as well. And for now, you can literally observe that there is only a huge traffic flow or traffic congestion around the same routes. It's more like there are over 4 lanes of vehicles being created for that route before the traffic lights on Ginger Road, as you can definitely see for what the camera person is able to at least clearly show you for now. 4 lanes have been created for those who are actually heading into the city using the Ginger Road, and obviously looking at the traffic lights that are quite available at the moment as an alternative for many of those. But you can definitely have to experience, for those who are actually using the Wampeo Avenue to stretch over to Kololo and stretch over to the Wampeo Avenue, definitely it is not as busy as such meanwhile. And for vehicles who are actually leaving Kampala, heading out of the city, to either use the Ginger Road to head to Weogere, Chireka, Banda, Mukono, name the neighboring areas or the neighboring towns as well, you realize that lane looks very free. by the look of things, there is only one vehicle that is actually now being used, that is actually using that route. So clearly it shows you that most of the people who have actually woken up today morning are hitting the city. Few are moving out of the city because it's like it is the rush hour in the morning. That means most people who work in town always have to be at their workplaces or workspaces by 8 o'clock in the morning, just like the standard time when people are supposed to be awake and ready to kickstart off the business day. And obviously, as we continue to give you more routes, you get to realize that is a lot more of alternatives that you can choose to use. And as the camera is rolling, you get to as well realize, as it's actually heading, that is the Wampeo Avenue on the northern, that is pointing north. Then as you continue on the eastern, that is to the eastern side of it, or on your right hand side, for those who are actually watching the screen, you will be heading out to Ginger Road. But for those who are actually taking the Wampeo Avenue, still a free road, a free route to use for the morning. Not busy as such. It is Wednesday, so you don't definitely expect it to be that busy. And pretty much behind me, where now the camera is facing, is a clear route of Ginger Road. So the people who are actually heading out of town, does not look that busy for you. So you can easily see that it's a free lane for you to use this particular morning if you wanted to get out of the city. Just to give you a very simple observation as well, is that the routes do not look so busy as we can get to understand. As of now, it is not that a busy morning. Not cold as such, not hot as such, but the temperatures do look humid. So that means if you are to wear a light cloth, it will definitely do you so well for the morning. And the traffic update is definitely to help you out and to sketch a better map as you're kickstarting off your day, which route would be safer for you to use. But as of now, the only busy route that looks so busy for the moment is one that is actually heading to Kampala, and that is from the Ginger Road. And for those who are actually coming in from the Old Port Bay Road hitting town, you get to realize that is the only busy route as we speak as of now. I'm Jerome Paul Sonko, and I'm definitely going to take you back to Barija Andrew, who will be giving you more updates this morning in regards to business across the East African region and the international updates as well, as we give you a simple glimpse of what is coming up in this particular day of business. I'm Jerome Paul Sonko, and I'm definitely taking you back to Barija to give you more updates. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Jerome, right there, of course, giving us what's happening in the traffic. You've seen, of course, get to understand what route to use. But according to the general observation, for any person that is coming out of town, it's a little bit okay. And for those people that are going into town, coming to town from the different destinations, that was Ginger Road, connecting, that is from Ginger Road connecting with Kampala Road. So you get to understand those coming from Ginger Road connecting to Kampala Road. It's a little bit much more congested. It's kind of, you might not be able to reach in the appropriate time. Well, it's exactly 28 that is past 7 a.m. and let's get into a short break. I shall be returning with more business insights. Stick around. Good morning.